Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Chipo the Double P, aka Baraka Mwaura, and I'm so jazzed this morning, this evening, this afternoon, this day, whenever listening to this from, to be on the Mission Accomplished podcast alongside my good friends, Mr. Lemo and Tendo. I can't wait to have them on board. Do you guys want to come and join me to do our podcast this day? Are you guys okay? Good, man. I feel like I'm hosting you on the podcast.
Okay, so let's switch. Okay.
Let's do it.
So hi guys. Welcome back to Mission Accomplished. I'm your host Lemuel Minamo, and this is
your co-host Tendo Ithiga.
and today we have a very special guest. He's introduced himself. He works for Pal Radio.
And he's been on air.
Yes.
Just clarify, yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm maybe 3 times. How old are you?
11
11
and a half.
and a half.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm like 3 times your age almost. I'm like 32 going 33. I am many things. As you possibly know, I'm a radio presenter. I'm a music fan. So by that I do a lot of music related stuff. So I'm a content producer as well. I am a concert producer and many other things. But also I'm a lawyer. Would you believe it?
How?
How? I went to study law in school. That's how. And graduated and did well.
Chipo,
Yes.
what are your hobbies?
My hobbies, I love reading. I love reading. There's a guy called Jeffrey Archer. He's a great novelist. I love reading Jeffrey Archer. I love playing PlayStation. I'm a FIFA guy totally. What else? I love going to the gym, so I love like running and on the treadmill, lifting weights and all that in the gym. And every now and again, I like to write. So I'm trying to like write a musical this year.
Since you're over 18 and our last person was turning 18,
Uh-huh.
we'll ask you about like your childhood.
Okay.
Like, yeah, tell us about your childhood.
My childhood. So I was brought up in a neighborhood called Donholm. I don't know if you guys know Donholm.
Don't know.
No. I was brought up in a neighborhood called Donholm, which was fantastic. So I have a twin brother. So I have an identical twin. So I was with him all the time, right?
Look exactly the same.
People say I look cuter, but yeah, I guess we look the same. And it was great, man. Just playing football, going to school, riding bikes with my friends. Pretty much that was what my childhood was. But I studied a lot. I love knowledge. I love information. So I do that. I went to a school called Nyeri High School, which is so cold. My goodness me, it was like Russia, but in Nyeri. It was so cold, man. Do you guys take cold showers?
No.
Oh my God, I take a cold shower every day for 4 years. When was the last time you guys had Gidei?
Like
At my grandma's house last week.
Last week. When was the last time before that?
Last year.
Last year,
the
right?
week before.
Yeah. So I had Gideri every day of my life for 4 years. 4 years, man. But I think everything in life builds you up for the next season. And so, because I had very many friends in primary school, it made it easier for me to get to know new friends or new people into high school. Then high school toughened me up, right? So, like I told you, I take a cold shower every day, and it was really cold every day. I joined the rugby team in high school, so I had to run a lot, which now my passion for running started from there. What else? I studied a foreign language, started learning German in high school. Yeah, Guten Morgen und wie geht's? I studied German. I did well. German, went to do another 3 years after high school. I got to learn how to surf when I was in high school. It was such a good space. But also, I think the most important thing is I met the wealthiest kind of people in my school. There were some really wealthy guys, eh? So there's this thing we call visiting day, when your parents come and visit you, right? And the guys would set up like a tent. Can you imagine? Like they have a tent, they have a grill, nini. And you can just smell like nyama choma everywhere. And same school, the guys who school fees, I think at some point was like 11, 12,000 a term, and they couldn't pay the school fees. So I met both divides and got to teach me how to deal with everybody. So That was a big part, and then, like I said, I left and went to study law at the University of Nairobi.
Did you always want to like do law and everything you're doing now?
No, so I thought I wanted to become a doctor, and I always said that. There's a doctor called Dr. Ben Carson. I don't know if you guys know Ben Carson,
I
right?
read his book.
Exactly. So I read his books as well, Gifted Hands and Think Big. I really liked the story of Dr. Ben Carson, right? And so I figured, might do something this field. So maybe not neurosurgery. So I thought I'd do cardiology. So I thought I'd become a cardiologist, right? Like a heart surgeon. And that was my dream all across. When I went to high school, I did very well. I did very well in history, in languages, in CRE, but I struggled a bit with the sciences. They didn't come as easy as they did in primary school, right? So I think I started saying I'm going to do something different. Then I told her to join rugby. So the plan was to become a rugby player. But they had a whole plan. I was going to become a rugby player, become a rugby star, become like the coach of the Kenya rugby team, and then after that I'd become like a role model for anyone who wants to play rugby. Hey, but rugby guys, banner, they were big, they were fast. I thought I was gonna die. So my mom suggested, how about you try law? But I must say this, that I don't know if you guys ever heard of minor. Yeah, I think you're too young. In fact, there's a phrase people say, let me tell you minor. So it's named after that minor. So minor still is a radio presenter. And I listened to Minor almost every morning when I was going to school or something, and I loved how he talked on radio. I loved that, on radio you talk and you play music. It's like the dream job.
Yeah.
So I think at the back of my mind, I toyed with the idea of one day being a radio presenter, but I never quite voiced it. But God made things work out. Yeah.
So now they've told us about your childhood and about your high school life. Tell us a bit more about your profession.
So, like I said, I finished high school and I got admitted to University of Nairobi, right, to study law, Parklands campus. Big shout out to all Parky guys. But, sometimes when I joined law school, it was exciting. It was thrilling for everyone. Not everyone gets to do law. It's a great thing. It's a great field. But day one in school, I felt like this was not it. I didn't know what it was, but I just felt like this was not what I want to do with my life. But here I also had to do my studies, and time went on. I was doing okay, but I was not really thrilled, right? So I did first year, I did second year, then third year, as God would have it, I went to a restaurant with my brother. I have a brother called Gift, I was telling you about. And so we're sharing a table with Gift, and then two ladies came in. I've never been to a restaurant and it's full. And then they ask you, do you mind if you share a table with someone who doesn't have a table? And you're like, okay, cool. They can come in, sit on the edge or something. So Gift and I were sitting at a table. Two ladies came in, shared the table. And so we started talking, and I can talk with everybody about anything. And so they asked us, so what do you guys think about Safaricom? And I said, Safaricom are thieves. They're thugs. They're bandits. They're robbers. Because my data disappears, my airtime disappears. I didn't know who they were. I figured they work at Safaricom, but I didn't know who they were, the ladies. So it turns out one of them was called Rita Okuse. She was the director of marketing. The other one was Zahida Suleiman, who's my friend to this day, and she was head of events at the time. Long story short, I ended up meeting a guy. Do you know Bob Colimo? Did you guys ever meet Bob? Bob was the CEO of Safaricom a while ago. So he wanted to know who this is that hates his company so much. Because I was like, this guy's a thug. So I said, Bob's the biggest thug of them all. When I met Bob was a very good guy. Bob was a very interesting guy. We had a great conversation for a couple of hours, got us lunch because I went with my friends, a couple of friends. And he told us how Safaricom works and everything. And one of the things Gift asked him, my brother, is what's the best piece of advice you've received in your life?
From
Anyone?
I think it's Benji and
What's the
my
advice?
parents. I think all of our parents have told us this, that you have to focus on your dreams, don't give up.
Yeah.
Like, I've always, as a kid, I always like watched something and then I'm like, I want to be there.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting this opportunity by Mtoto News, which I thank very much.
Shout out.
Yes. I'm getting this opportunity to be on TV and share information to other people
Yeah.
that are my age and even older than me, because there's no time that's too late to be inspired.
That's what's up. I like that.
So now, the aim of Mission Accomplished is to reach out to people who want to accomplish much. So what would what would be the best piece of advice that you would give to people who aspire to be like you?
Like Bob said, man, find out who you are and be you. There's only one of one. I'm only gonna be myself. There's only gonna be one Chipo ever, or one Baraka Mwaura ever. No one else gonna come who's gonna be like me. But also, there's never gonna be another Minor. There's never gonna be another Lemuel, another Tendo, another Cristiano, another Jude Bellingham, or so on and so forth. So find out who you are and be you. God has put passions in everyone for a reason. There's a reason why there's some things that excite you that don't excite me, right? And some things that really matter to Tendo that don't matter to either of us, right?
Yeah.
So find out what it is that God has put in you. Work on that. Go out and be dope, man.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you very, very much for coming. Anyone who wants to become a football player, lawyer, presenter, this is your guy. I hope you had fun listening. This has been our first Man United supporter, so Man United fans.
And Eric.
Oh, and Eric.
Yeah,
Eric. Shout out to Eric for being possibly the best cameraman.
Okay, so thank you for watching, and we out.
Peace.
We are Mtoto News, a digital platform that empowers children. We curate and create engaging content about and by children. Through audio, video, writing, and infographics, we believe children should be players, not spectators. Through child-led research, we amplify young voices, shaping policies and programs. To partner or donate, send an email to info@mtotonews.com or call 0705855258. Mtoto News, making children visible.